Hi all, TC here. Still not feeling the best because I got a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. And the first thing is James Griffiths' latest Gimme 10 thread. I love his stuff. His latest is Gimme 10 female-male duos. Notice that he went mostly rock and R&B. I got strictly pop. So we'll show off, well, most of it's pop, some of it's disco. But 10 male-female duos, your wish is my command. First up, Boy Meets Girl, the duo of Shannon Rubicam and George Merrill. At the time this album came out, this is their first album with the hit Oh Girl. They were not married. They married shortly after and released an album the later album, which contained Waiting for a Star to Fall. Their marriage fell after that. They did divorce in the 1990s. Great sounding dance pop, great ballads, and terrific team they are. Number 2, one of my favorites of all time, as I said in a recent video, Captain and Snail. This is Make Your Move from 1979. This was their debut on Casablanca, which features the #1 hit, Do That To Me One More Time. Also features follow-ups, Love on a Shoestring and Happy Together, a Fantasy, neither one of which were big hits. Love Tony and Daryl in their heyday, love them now, still listen to their music all the time on Spotify. I miss Daryl, he passed away last year, but definitely a classic pop duo. Same can be said for another act from the originally Captain and Snail were always on originally on A&M, and the Carpenters never left A&M. They were there until Karen's passing in 1983, and Richard remained there for years to come. This is Made in America from 1981. The last album they released during Karen's lifetime features their top 20 hit Touch Me When We're Dancing, as well as a lot of other ones. This is one of my favorite albums by them. When you look at the videos for this album, you can tell Karen is sick. You can't tell from the sound on the album, and that's probably due to Richard's talent as a producer. Terrific stuff from the quintessential male-female duo of the 1970s, Karen and Richard, the Carpenters. Stacey, Ladison, and Johnny Gill, two R&B stars coming together for a great album together. I was never a huge fan of Johnny's on his own, but Stacey, I have every one of her albums. I think she is awesome. At the time, they were both signed to Cotillion Records. They would later split, Stacey to Motown, Johnny Gill to MCA. But this was one of their only projects they did together. I'm not sure the background of it. I think they just got thrown together, although they were friends from being on the same label. Terrific stuff. Act you don't think of as a duo, but they were. Lip Sync. This is Pucker Up from 1981. Lip Sync is made up of the keyboardist Stephen Greenberg and vocalist Cynthia Johnson. This album was their second album. It has minor hit How Long on it, beautiful ballad called There They Are, which is a story about the price of fame, and a terrific instrumental called Jazzy. I love Lip Sync. I think they were very underrated as a performance duo. And this is a terrific album if you've never seen it. Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr., they were originally members of the Fifth Dimension. I still have not listened to this. I just got this a few weeks ago, and I got it for a good price. It was brand new, never opened. I, of course, opened it. It's on ABC Records. Billy and Marilyn, of course, were part of the Fifth Dimension for years before going off and releasing this solo album debut, which contained their only monster hit, You Don't Have to Be a Star. They are terrific together and still are married after nearly 50 years. Had to go male and female without mentioning brother and sister Donny and Marie. This is Winning Combination from 1979. This was not a big album hit. Didn't produce any big hits. Actually, this might be from earlier than that, because Going Coconuts was later. So this might be from 77 or 78. No big hits off this. They did have a minor hit with their version of Soul and Inspiration off this. But they were well into their second or third season on the television show by this point, and their albums had slowed down in sales. Still, they are still always together, really terrific, and I love both of them separately, too. Peaches and Herb, this is Too Hot, the album that has most of their hits on it, including Shake Your Groove Thing and Reunited. Herb fame, of course, had been part of an earlier group called Peaches and Herb, but was unable to get the original Peaches to rejoin him, so he hired Linda Green, the Peaches of the 70s and early 80s Peaches and Herb. They did very well for a couple of albums, and then Herb returned later to being a police officer, which he'd been between the intervals. Now, as far as I know, they're both still working somewhere. Sonny and Cher. Who could forget Sonny and Cher? All I Ever Need Is You is the name of this album. It's the only one I have by them. This is from the early 70s during the heyday of their television show. Features their hit A Cowboy's Work Is Never Done. They are terrific together. Somebody had a Sonny Bono solo album for sale the other day. I didn't even know he did any. That's really scary. It might have been Adam at Record Crate, because Cher was always the most talented woman, one of the most talented women ever, and always carried the duo. Sonny was always comic relief to me. I mean, he's a great producer, great songwriter. Didn't agree with his politics when he was in Congress, but still, they were a classic duo. And finally, I've shown this one before, the Rays, Dancing Up a Storm. The Rays were Canada's answer to Captain Snail. Robbie and Cheryl Ray would have a number of hits. This is their second album featuring their hit A Little Lovin' Keeps the Doctor Away. They have a couple of other albums. They had a television show in Canada that was similar to Captain Snail's show, and made most of their fame in disco. Had their biggest hit in Canada with a remake of Doris Day's Que Sera Sera as a disco song. That's pretty frightening. So there's my 10 male-female duos, James. I hope other people will come up with other great entries to your thread. Your threads are always fun to do, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe what I have, and click that notification bell to let you know when I have new stuff up. There'll be a lot during December. Christmas stuff is coming, and I'll see you soon. I'm TC. Bye-bye.